Hey there, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Therapy with me, Boone Christensen, and today we're going to talk about judging. This is a huge topic, and I'm not going to cover it all in 5 minutes, but I would love to see comments about this and discussion about it. The kind of judging that we need to be wary of are judgments about other people's intentions or their character. This kind of judgment ultimately does no good, and I'll explain why. Statements like, he's just bad, or what she did was rude, or they're a bunch of lazy people, or, my favorite one, your mom is so judgmental. The irony that the statement itself is a judgmental statement. All of the reason this is faulty is that all of these kind of judgments are incomplete. We will never know enough about somebody's internal experience and their life history to make an effective or objective judgment about who they are or what their intentions are. We will never have that info. And this is harmful because these kind of statements can so easily diminish the quality of somebody's being or the worth of their soul. It creates feelings of inadequacy, of better than and less than, of worthlessness, all of which are forms of shame, which I will explain later to be the source of essentially all mental illness. And you might be thinking, but aren't there just some people who really are bad? And it may be the case. I personally don't believe it is because I don't believe God to have created bad babies that were just born to be bad. That doesn't really make any sense to me. A lot of people take license to judge people like sex offenders or narcissists, particularly those who might be the executive politician of a large country. And having worked both with sex offenders and narcissists, and being able to develop a close relationship with them, I have come to understand how certain kinds of life circumstances, traumas in particular, can lead somebody to essentially lose their conscience. So I have come to relinquish my license to judge even the kinds of people who do the most damage. I like to think of it in the same way we would as any other kind of animal, like a puppy. Puppies aren't born to be evil, but if we encountered a puppy that was vicious and wanted to hurt everyone around it, we wouldn't say like, oh, that's just an evil, bad-spirited puppy. Like, we would recognize that this came from trauma. This came from something. And even though this puppy might need to stay in containment, I don't need to think evilly of this puppy. So what does that mean we need to do in terms of expressing? We don't ever need to make a judgment about somebody's intentions or character, but what we can say is how what they have done makes us feel. That is something we can say with 100% objectivity. I know how I feel, and nobody can dispute that. That's how I feel. And we can set boundaries. I don't need to say that this sex offender who is in my therapy room is a good person or a bad person. But I can say, but I don't feel safe, and there are chances that this person could offend again, and so we might need to set a boundary with them. So we can express how we feel, and we are always free to set boundaries, and setting a boundary on someone is not the same as judging them. Totally different. Boundaries exist to protect us, not to attack or place value or worth on somebody else. And something to be aware of, if you are judging, find out if you are, determine whether or not you believe it's okay to judge intentions and character, and then determine whether or not that same judgment applies to yourself. Because if you are judging someone, it means that you believe there is some line that you could cross that would diminish the worth of your soul, that would make you bad. that would make you beyond redemption, compassion, or forgiveness. And if that is the case, then chances are you are living your life anxiously to avoid that. And that can cause a lot of problems. So please comment on this. I'd like to keep the conversation going. Thanks.